Hello everyone, myself Dr. Shizha Singhal and I am going to cover a very important topic which will help you to understand the basics of satellite communication, that is frequency ranges. Actually, frequency ranges or the frequencies determine very important aspects, that is which type of communication we are dealing with. Now you must have seen these types of structures standing here and there. So can you guess what are these? And what is this structure here and what is this structure here? So let me answer for you. Many times the students confuse that this structure is antenna or this structure is antenna, but this is just the base structure to support the complete system. Actually, antennas are these ones. These you can see the relay antennas, and these are the microwave dish antennas. These are the microwave dish antennas. So these are the terrestrial towers, terrestrial broadcast towers used for cellular telephony, point-to-point microwave relay, radio and television broadcast, terrestrial relay of data, voice and video service. Now, what are the various types of microwave communication? They are line of sight systems, satellite systems and optical communication system. Here is a typical line of sight communication system is shown. The data, that is input, is coming, and from transmitter it is transmitted to transmission line to this tower, terrestrial tower, and from antenna it is being relayed and received by the receiving antenna. So you can see the in line of sight system, the receiving antenna and transmitting antenna both should point to each other and they should be able to see each other in order to receive the data. And then after receiving the data, it gives back it to the receiver and then we get the output. There is a problem with these line of sight communication system that after a distance, the curvature of the earth poses a problem. With a very long height antenna, even a 100-kilometer height antenna, we can, the maximum distance that a line of system site can travel is 82 kilometers. So we need in between repeater stations. So here you can see that to after a distance, to transmit from this point to this point, or to transmit from this point to this point, we need 3 repeaters. This will transmit, and here this repeater station will receive and retransmit. Then again this repeater station will receive and retransmit. So the final point destination is here. So from T1 to T2 we require three number of repeaters or more numbers of repeaters. So here is a complete diagram. You can see this repeater station is nothing but is a microwave repeater, that is it receives the signals and repeats the same signal again. It does not modify it in any way, except it may be amplifying it to improve the signal strength. So we may require several this type of repeaters for proper communication. So the advantage of satellite communication is that if we have to place a repeater, so the best place to put it is to put it in the space. So satellite is nothing but it's a repeater in the space. Now we'll see what are the various frequency ranges, and before that we will see a basics of frequency. So what is a wave? A wave is a physical phenomena characterized by its frequency, wavelength and amplitude. In general, wave transfer energy from one location to another, in which case they have many properties. So a wave is nothing but it's a kind of oscillation or it's a shape. And here you can see what is frequency. Frequency is a complete cycle. A complete cycle, a number of cycles completed in a second is known as frequency, and the wavelength is from crest to crest or from trough to trough is known as wavelength, denoted by lambda, and this is half wavelength lambda by 2, and this is shown quarter wavelength lambda by 4. So if lambda is the complete wavelength, then half wavelength is lambda by 2 and quarter wavelength is lambda by 4, and this is one node to another node. So a complete 2 node makes a cycle, and node to node is this half wavelength. One node to one crest is quarter wavelength, and crest to crest is complete wavelength. Now these are the radio frequency bands. Here frequencies are given. Here frequency band name, wavelength and wavelength band name. So less than 3000 Hz is extremely low frequency, and important factor that remained there is as the frequency increases, the wavelength decreases. The length of the wave will become smaller. So you can see here as we reaches in gigahertz band, then it becomes in centimeters, and greater than gigahertz it becomes in millimeter, and we call it millimeter wave. Here you can see it is known as millimeter wave. So less than 3000 Hz, it is known as extremely low frequency. 3 to 30 very low frequency, 30 to 300 low frequency, 300 to 3000 kilohertz medium frequency, 3 to 30 megahertz high frequency, 30 to 300 megahertz very high frequency, and these are known as short wave, very short wave. Then 300 to 3000 megahertz ultra high frequency. Now 3 to 30 gigahertz super high frequency, or this is the frequency band which we are concerned with. This is also known as microwave band. We will see this band is specifically in detail. And then 30 to 300 gigahertz is extremely high frequency, and above 300 gigahertz it becomes infrared. Now these are the bands which we have seen band names, that is VLF, ELF, LF, MF, HF, VHF, UHF, SHF and EHF. And here are the broad applications which they are used. ELF are generally used for railway signaling and transmission purpose, and from VLF we start for that marine navigation signals. Then for low frequencies for LoRaWAN navigation aids, etc. Now MF and HF, that is medium frequency and high frequencies, are used for AM maritime radio, shortwave radio and radio telephony. Now VHF, you must have seen the signal while using televisions in olden days, but maybe not now. VHF TV, FM radio, navigation aids. And then UHF is ultra high frequencies for ultra high frequency TV. And the cell phones also start operating from this range, cell phones, GPS. Now this range from 300 to 30 gigahertz is important for us, because this from here it starts the satellite frequency spectrum LSCX, and the K band is split into two, that is KU and KA, and onwards. And finally EHF, extra high frequency, that is for radio astronomy, radar landing systems. So we will see this satellite frequency band in more detail. Here we can see, so this is microwave frequency bands. L band is 1 to 2 gigahertz, and this is the wavelength range. So L band, it is typical uses are for military telemetry, GPS, that is global positioning system, mobile phones, GSM and amateur radio. Then comes the S band, it is used for weather radar, surface ship radar, and some communication satellites like microwave ovens, microwave devices, communications, radio astronomy, mobile phones, wireless LANs, Bluetooth, Zigbee, GPS, and amateur radio. Then C band, this is the widely used band in earlier days. This because C band was used, but they used to have very big, large size dish, parabolic dishes for communication. So the DBS TV was not possible. From shifting from C band to KU band, now it is possible to have DTH or DBS TVs, that is direct broadcast satellite TVs. So 4 to 8 gigahertz, and it was used for long distance radio telecommunication. X band, satellite communication, radar, terrestrial broadband, space communication and amateur radios. Now KU band, K band and KA band, this is the K band split into K upper and K above, K under and K above bands. So for these are used for radar, satellite and satellite. So now Q band, V band, W band, F band and D band. In general we don't use these bands too much, but we work up to this Ka band, because as we go higher in this frequency spectrum, so the attenuation losses increases. But still V band is used for millimeter wave radar research, W band for satellite communication, millimeter wave radar research, SHF for radio astronomy, microwave devices, communications, wireless LAN, etc. D band for EHF transmissions like radio astronomy, high frequency microwave radio relays, etc. Now we will see these satellite frequency spectrum in detail. L band is 1 to 2 gigahertz for GPS and satellite mobile phones such as Iridium, Inmarsat, providing communication at sea, land and air. S band for weather satellites, surface ship radars and some communication satellites. C band is primarily used for satellite communications for full-time satellite TV networks or raw satellite feeds. Commonly used in areas that are subject to tropical rainfalls, since it is less susceptible to rain fade than KU band. As we go higher towards the frequency, then this attenuation losses due to rain, ice, weather are more. But in C or lower frequency spectrum, we have less losses. But the disadvantage is that the smaller is the frequency range, larger is the size of the dish. In K band, the size of the dish is 1 to 2 meters, so that they can be easily installed on the balconies or roofs, or portably installed anywhere for direct to home broadcast. Now X-band 8 to 12 gigahertz, these are primarily used by the military and government institutions for weather monitoring, air traffic control, maritime vessel traffic control, defense tracking and vehicle speed detection for law enforcement. KU band 12 to 18 used for satellite communications, and it is also used for DBS services, direct broadcast satellite services. KA bands is used 26 to 40 gigahertz for communication satellites, and uplink is either in 27.5 gigahertz and 31 gigahertz bands, and high resolution close and targeting radars on military aircraft also used. We'll meet again with another important topic about the satellite communication. Thank you.